1 year in the garden, 4 seasons, 12 months and 47 episodes of Niall Gardens. So today let's take a look back at 2021 because it's been a busy year. Hey everyone, how's it going and welcome back. It's the end of 2021 and what a year it truly has been, both in and out of the garden. Now, at this time of year, I get a little bit nostalgic. Well, actually, a lot nostalgic. So I thought today would be really nice to make a review of the whole year, and we're going to have a look at the best of what's happened here in the garden. Now, if you're new to the channel, or you just fancy a big 2021 catch-up, I have made a dedicated binge watch catch-up playlist, which I'll link down below, and it's got all of the best videos from the last year. The earliest part of the year was all about making some really big structural changes here in the garden, working towards self-sufficiency, homesteading, having a small holding. Is any of this possible? Well, it's the start of 2021 and I'm going to make a start and give it a go. I'm going to chart my journey as I work towards a self-sufficient homestead style lifestyle, and we can look back in a year and see how I got on. Watching the garden change from winter to spring this year was just lovely. The garden is filled with spring flowering bulbs, and this year they put on a particularly good show. So of course, I had to show it off in a spring garden tour. All the way along the back of the garden were really huge Leylandii cypress trees that I would guess were about 30 foot tall. And in the video, you can see just how huge they really were. Well, they're not here anymore, at least not along the stretch along the back of the garden, and the difference has just been incredible. The amount of extra light and airflow hasn't just been beneficial to the garden, it's really opened up how the whole garden feels. The garden now feels really airy, it feels really open, there's so much light, and it connects really nicely to the countryside beyond. Now, all of that work was no mean feat, but it was totally worth it. And for the difference it's made, if you're looking at a similar situation in your own garden, well, I gotta say, do it. You won't regret it. I certainly haven't. And really, that was the biggest change that I made to the garden at the very start of the year. And it really set me up nicely for what was still to come. For a lot of 2020, I talked about how I wanted to turn a section of the garden into a raised bed vegetable garden. I've talked for ages and several times on this channel about turning this whole space into a really epic veg garden. And this year I finally made it a reality. I'm wanting to turn this space into the veg garden, so it needs plenty of sunlight and I need to maximize that wherever possible. But with these trees being about what, maybe 15 or 16 foot high, you can imagine that when they've got their leaves on, they really cast some serious shade. 64 8-foot scaffolding boards, marked, cut, carried, laid out, screwed together, and that's only the start of it. There were 12 tons of topsoil, wheelbarrowed into position, barrow after barrow after barrow. It's raining again. It was what felt like weeks of graft, but when it was done, really, the veg garden was just fantastic. A dedicated growing space that wasn't just productive, but it was beautiful to be in. The veg garden has been a long time in the making. and a long time in the talking. I've talked about making this a veg garden since the day that we moved in, and now it's finally a reality after all of the foundation work and all of the hard work. Now, the downside of doing all of this work meant that the veg garden was quite late to get up and running, and I wasn't able to get it planted until May. But despite that, it has been the most productive, abundant little place I could have hoped for. For me personally, I'm delighted with the space. I am aware that things are a lot further back than maybe other gardeners have it, but equally, this vegetable garden simply didn't exist a few months ago, and it has taken time to create the actual structure and turn it into something that's going to work for years to come. A veg garden filled with corn, beans, salads, carrots, radishes, potatoes, all sorts of flowers, sweet pea, calendula, cosmos, herbs, turnips, the list goes on. And even if each crop itself wasn't huge, each crop was really tasty, and particularly because it's my first year veg gardening here in the garden, it felt really special. And it wasn't just in the vegetable garden where really big changes were afoot. I did a lot of work in the old polytunnel at the back of the garden. And over a number of months, I completely cleared it out and renovated it. I cleaned it, I created 3 huge raised beds inside it, and then got stuck into planting it up. And in return, it certainly didn't disappoint. It's official, I am done. I am finally done in here, and I am just blown away by this. I know recently loads of my videos have ended up with me talking about me being really excited. I'm afraid I'm really excited right now. I just think everything looks great. Finally, now all I need to do is tend to the plants and enjoy looking after them. The irrigation system's fitted, so I know that I'm not going to need to worry about watering on a day-to-day basis, other than giving particularly the tomatoes their weekly feed. But the rest is just down to enjoy now, and hopefully, particularly in the case of the strawberries, just a case of harvesting very, very soon. All summer I had harvests of tomatoes, loads of tomatoes. Okay, maybe a few too many tomatoes. Chilies, strawberries, and best of all, even Gallia melons. Okay, time for the taste test. It's actually really good. It's really, really good. Yes! There's something really lovely about being able to turn the polytunnel back into what it should be, a productive powerhouse. And now that all the setup work is done, I'm really hoping that it's going to work for me year after year. We didn't just have a lovely spring here in Ireland. Actually, autumn has been really quite settled, and the colours in the garden were just knockout. As the summer shifted into the autumn, the garden just came alive with colour. And when I was putting together my autumn garden tour, I took so much footage, took so many photos, and actually just spent a lot of time out here enjoying it. It was really fantastic. Dotted amongst all of the goings on here in the garden this year, I also managed to squeeze in a few how-to videos. How to plant a bulb lasagna. I'm going to be showing you a layered spring bulb planting in a container, also known as a spring bulb lasagna. How to store and organise your seeds. So today I'm going to go through a brilliant rainy day job, and that is to get all of your seeds organised, because if you're anything like me, before I started organising my seeds, this is what you'll have. Even how to make your own homemade hot composter, and of course my monthly what seeds to sow this month videos. Do you fancy having some really nice little veggie plants in your garden this year? Well, what to sow in July? People often wonder, what should I sow this month? So here is exactly what I'm going to be sowing this month. Most of all, despite everything that's happened here in the garden in 2021, I want and really need to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you for watching my videos, for subscribing, and for leaving a comment. It's because of you that not only I make these videos, but that I do a lot of the stuff in the garden. I really hope that my videos are inspirational and show what you can do too. I really hope that I've achieved that for you. I've loved having you here in the garden with me and being able to share the garden with you all the way through 2021. And you know what? I think 2022 is going to be even better. So, as ever, until next time, see you later.